What's up, everybody? I'd like to go into some nuts and bolts on the logo project. And we're probably getting to past sketching now. So let me share my screen and show you some of the work that I have been working on. And first things first, I wanted to show you that if you do a search for Affinity Designer logo, it looks like there's some good logo tutorials. This one's 17 minutes long. This one here is 10 minutes long. It looks like it'd be a nice step-by-step tutorial specific to Affinity Designer. So I have taken my sketch of what I'm working on, which is the monster design, and I used the pen tool, but I also used the artistic text tool. They're both on the left side here, so you should be able to find them pretty easily. The other tool I made use of was the color picker tool, and that was just to match colors between the logo primary color and the highlight color. So like I had mentioned before, keep your logo very simple, 2-3 colors will get you there. And then the last tool I used was the node tool, and that was just to make some minor adjustments with the paths. So when we worked on the first project, we were specifically creating anchor points that had corners. So we weren't really working with curved paths. So this is a little bit trickier because you're having to actually create curved paths using the pen tool. And let me show you what I drew. First of all, this was my sketch, and I just placed it using the place button, and I put it on a separate layer so I could turn it on and off if I wanted to hide it. And then I started another layer, and this is the culmination of that work there. If I zoom in a little bit here, you will see that I go to outline mode, you'll see that it's a combination of, a lot of different shapes, and some of these shapes are tucked behind the body, so it doesn't really matter. You're not seeing it, but since I'm using the same color for the leg and the body, doesn't really matter anyways. And if I show you this with the node tool, you'll notice how many different anchors I dropped as I was working through this. And I use what's called the clockwork method for dropping anchor points. So I start at 12 o'clock and then I just work my way around. A few times I created cornered anchored points, but mostly I created the curved anchor points, which if I click on them, you'll notice they have handles on them. And it should be pretty easier. You should be able to find a tutorial on how to create the difference. If you just drop a point by clicking and releasing your mouse, that is going to be a cornered anchor point. And if you actually hold your mouse and drag, then you're actually creating an anchor point that has handles. And you'll notice the difference. These ones are circles and these ones are little squares. And you can just grab the path if you want to not deal with the tool itself, which can be a little bit hard to deal with. Just grab the path and move it around. You'll actually notice that you can do quite a bit by doing that as well. So that's my little tutorial on that. If we get back to pixel view and show you that I decided to hand letter my typography because there was no way I was going to find a font that matched this particular style because I had sketched it in. But the bottom word design, I went ahead and I used the type tool. So I just grabbed the type tool and I started to type. And when you grab the type tool, you'll notice up here in the upper menu, you get all of these different fonts, depending on how many you have loaded into your system. So there are a lot of free fonts out there. You can find them online. I have a lot of fonts because I work as a designer, so I've accumulated thousands of fonts. But let me turn off the back. And so this is kind of where I ended up. And the color picker, by the way, allows you to just sample from another shape so that you're keeping that shape color identical throughout. But if you also go to the swatches panel, every time you're picking a color, it's adding it into a horizontal bar here that's called recent. And this down here is a library of colors that that is part of just the default for Affinity Designer. And you've got a little tab over here on the right, so you can just grab this tab and pull it down. So explore fonts and also explore colors as you develop your logo. So let me stop sharing now, and hopefully I haven't forgotten anything. I might create one more video demo for you guys before we get to finalize this project. Okay, have fun. Bye.